Hey, so today we're going to be dealing with the distributive property, as you can see with my beautiful handwriting there. So distributive property, as we've seen before, right, is a number outside parentheses, and we'll do 2 plus 3 here. Generally, what we've done before is added these two up, and we'll get 5 times 5. But the distributive property says that we can multiply the number outside by each number inside the parentheses and get the same answer. So 5 times that's going to equal 25. 5 times 2 is 10, and 5 times 3 is 15. And 10 plus 15 equals 25. Alright, so you see that we get the same answer. 25 equals 25. Alright, now this is very important when we can no longer combine the like terms. Alright, so what's the like term? So we have the term x, we have the term 6y, and we have the term 7. These are unlike terms because they have different variables. You can add x plus x to get 2x, and you can add 3y plus 3y to get 6y, but you cannot add 6y to 2x because they have different variables. Alright, if the number does not have the same variable, they are unlike terms. Term 1, term 2, term 3, and they are normally separated by that. So this is as simple as we can make this. Okay, you can only combine like terms. So that's why a distributive property comes into play when you have 5 times 2x plus 3. Now I can no longer combine 2x and 3. That's as simple as I can make it. So now I multiply 5 times the 2x and 5 times the 3. Well, 5 times 2x gives me 10x. 5 times 3 gives me 13. There you have it. That is the distributive property. You take the number outside of the parentheses and you multiply it by each number inside of the parentheses. Let's go through a couple of more problems just to hash out any details we might need to. So let's say we're actually multiplying by a negative 3. We're just going to use our properties that we've been using for multiplying and adding numbers, right? So this is going to be negative 3 times x. That's going to be negative 3x. Then we're going to do negative 3 times that. That's a 4 and negative 4. We'll take the sign in front. That's how we'll do it. We'll take that sign in front. So that's going to be negative 3 times negative 4, positive 12. Okay, positive 12. So when you multiply, take that negative sign with you and take the sign in front of the number. That's going to be the number that you're going to multiply. So a negative times a negative is a positive. You get positive 12. Alright, let's do another one. Let's say we had negative 4 multiplied by negative x plus 5. Alright, as you can see, we're dealing with a negative number here. The first thing we're going to do is multiply that negative 4 by that negative x to get positive 4x. And we don't have to write that positive sign down. And then we're going to write this, we're going to multiply this negative 4 times this positive 5. We're going to get, that's right, negative 20. Okay? Alright, so let's see what happens when we multiply by a variable. So let's say we have z, that's a z and not a 2, I know my handwriting, times z plus 6. How would we go about doing this? We're going to use our same principle. Take the letter or the number outside the parentheses and multiply it by each inside. So when you multiply bases that are the same, what do we do with the exponents? That's right, we add them. So there's a 1 here for this one, and there's a 1 here for this one. So this is going to be z squared plus 6z. When you multiply a variable times a number, just put them side by side. This shows that this is 6 times z. So the answer here will be z squared plus 6 times z, or 6z. Let's have another one for you. Let's say we have this, right? So we have 3c multiplied by c squared plus, let's say, 2. Alright, so now we're going to multiply 3c times c squared. That is doable, right? Because there's a coefficient for this c. What's the coefficient for everyone that does not have a coefficient? It's going to be an invisible 1 right there. Alright, so now it's going to be 3 times 1, which is 3. Then we're going to do c times c squared. That doesn't have an exponent. When the variable does not have an exponent, it's a 1 there. We're just going to add 1 plus 2, c to the third power. Right, now we're done with that. We have to go to the next one. This is where you make your biggest mistake when you're distributing, not going to the second term. Okay, now we're going to have plus 3 times 2 is 6, and we just leave that c out there by itself. We're going to have 3c cubed, or 3c to the third power, plus 6c. Alright, we'll do 1 or 2 more, and then we'll be done with that. Right? Let's say we had 7x times x minus 4. Alright, so now we're going to do 7x times 7. We're going to distribute to the first term, distribute to the second term. So it's 7x squared, right, minus, and we always take that there, and we know a negative times a positive is going to give us a negative, so that's why I brought the negative down. Negative 28x. Okay, so remember, one thing we have to remember here is that when this variable does not have a coefficient outside, it is going to be 1. Okay, so we're going to keep that 1 there, even though we're not going to write it. We're going to keep that 1 in our head. Alright, one more. Let's see how we do, and this will be it. We can do negative b times b minus 4. Alright, we're going to take this negative b here. We're going to distribute to the 2b. So it's going to be now negative 2b squared, because that's the negative 1. So what we really have written here, because negative b, if I can write this off to the side, equals negative 1b, correct? So that's going to be negative 1 times positive 2, and the negative times a positive is a negative, so that gives me negative 2, and then this is 1 here, and that's 1, so that's going to be b squared. Then we're going to do that negative b times 5. A negative times a negative is a positive, so we're going to go 5, so that's going to be plus 5b. Alright, so there you have it. Okay, I hope this helps. You know, you guys, we will have a small quiz next class on this video, so go ahead. I hope you guys are able to go over any questions you have with the sub. Okay, so have a good one. Bye.